everybody, welcome back to Fly Me to the Philippines. Today we're going to take a look at another one of the best and most interesting Facebook group postings of the week. Thailand versus Philippines. And stick around, I'm going to give you a third option that you may not have thought of where English is spoken. The Philippines versus Thailand. And I can share with you my thoughts, but you might want to hear from the people who've lived in both countries for over 5 years. And several of those people chimed in on Philippine Expat with over 41,000 members, the forum on Facebook. And the question is posed by Charles D. And he says, "Good morning. Has anyone had to choose between Thailand and the Philippines? Who has experienced or lived in Thailand, and how do the two compare? Both seem to cost about the same. Both seem very easy to live in. Both have lovely, friendly locals. Both have beautiful beaches and countryside. Did anyone have to make this decision? And what led to the final decision? Thanks." And quite a few people responded. It got a very vibrant response. And we're going to share those responses with you today. You know, I have recently become an expat here in the Philippines. I didn't know where I would end up, Thailand or the Philippines. I'd been to Thailand quite a bit, and I really love Thailand. The food in Thailand is just remarkable. So let's get to what people have to say. Brian C. says, moved to Makati in 2005, then to Pattaya, Thailand in 2006, and lived there for about a dozen years. Moved back to the Philippines, Cebu City in 2017. Now here's somebody whose opinion you want to pay attention to. The thing that made Thailand so attractive to me was the culture being wildly different from the West. I loved it. I loved learning it, but it began to wear thin after so many years. After moving to Cebu City, I realized within just a few weeks that it was the perfect fit for me. It's kind of like having one foot in Southeast Asia and the other foot in Southern California. I loved my time living in Thailand, but I wouldn't go back there to live. That's just my experience in a nutshell. You know, when I was trying to figure out where to go, what to do, how to do it, this is the kind of opinion I was interested in. Timothy S. Food and infrastructure in Thailand is far superior, but when I made my decision 12 years ago, the long-term tourist stay was way easier in the Philippines. After I got to the Philippines, I realized prevalence of English was good and should have been a higher priority than it was. Seth G. writes, I live in Thailand. The thing I miss the most is being able to make friends and talk with people. And Thai people's personality is very mellow, neutral, quite. Philippine people is more outgoing and lively. Food is better in Thailand, and buildings and hotels, no grayouts, Wi-Fi works great everywhere, and cell phones. I wish I could combine the two to make one country. I'd stay forever. Norm says the language benefit is the deciding factor for me. However, I might tell you, in the Philippines, it is not universal English. It is their third language quite often. They read it everywhere. It's used in traffic signs and restaurant menus. They can hear it if you speak slowly, but getting to them to express their opinions and feelings and discuss philosophy in English, good luck. Kenny V says, Thailand is tops for banking, housing, food, transportation, medical, access and treatment, cheap airfares, customer service, internet quality, theaters, plenty of working ATMs, exotic culture. He hit all the high watermarks. And if you're interested in the most exotic, it's Thailand for sure. You know, I love the Thai people. You cannot get a Thai taxi driver upset with you. They're so zen. They're so chill. And don't make the mistake I made. You know, I was going to Thailand for years and saying Sawadee Ka. And nobody ever said anything to me. And it was only when I started studying the Thai language that I realized that women end their sentences or words with ka as a sign of respect. And men say krop. So as a man, you want to go Swadee krop. And I used to say Swadee Ka. I would walk into a hotel, walk into a restaurant, say Swadee Ka. No one ever said anything to me, but it was absolutely wrong. It's Swadee Krop. So there's a tip for you as well. Frank M. says, people say the food is better in Thailand, which is nonsense. As long as you live in a city in the Philippines, you can get almost every type of high-quality international food that you might want, including Thai. The main reason to choose the Philippines is that Philippines are very friendly and English is widely spoken. So, you know, we've talked about this a little bit in the past. They have a Costco of the Philippines, S&R. There's one in the city I live in, Cagayan de Oro. It's about 20 miles away. And there's a bunch in the Metro Manila area. There's a couple on Cebu Island. and there's one in Davao. If it's not cheap like Costco back home, but boy, you can get good cheese, you can get quality nuts, you can get some good selections that'll make you feel like you're back home. That's true. And I've talked before about how there's rotisserie chickens on every street corner, and it's clean protein. If you don't get the ones that are all shot up with sugar and MSG. And down at the big local wet market, we get tomatoes and cucumbers and morning glory and all kinds of spinach and things like that. And we can eat clean here. And I import Thai curry paste on their version of Amazon. And we make Thai food at home. And we've started to buy the shrimp down at the wet market and trust that. So yeah, you can find food here. It's not like in Thailand though. In Thailand, I eat the street food. In Thailand, I'll go get a plate lunch for about $1.25 US, and it'll have 2 curries and a vegetable and some rice, and I'm very comfortable eating the street food in Thailand. Certainly Thai food is a major factor in the decision. Patrick K says, so many have weighed in, I'll keep it brief. Philippine culture seems much more welcoming and accommodating to foreigners than I experienced in Bangkok. This helps in day-to-day life. The Filipino people are full of smiles and they're very, very friendly. It's a very interesting culture in that way. Now, the Thai people are very chill. The vibe in the Philippines is smiles and happiness and friendly people. Yeah, definitely something to keep in mind. Juz H says, Thailand is good for tourists, Philippines good for retirement. If you're a sexpat, you want to go to Thailand. I don't think Philippines is the place for that at all. Although, I've never been to Angeles City, but I've watched some videos, and I don't know why anybody would want to go to Angeles City or come to the Philippines for a sexpat vacation. But Thailand's built for that. Johnny E says, Philippines, no doubts. Cheaper living. Everyone speaks English. Even all signs are in English. The most friendly people I've ever met. Well, everyone does not speak English here in the Philippines. And if you speak fast or if you speak with an accent, they won't understand anything that you're saying. And I don't think it's cheaper living, actually. I think, personally, Thailand's a little cheaper. That's my own personal opinion. Carl S. says, 2 things that favor the Philippines. English is their second language. You can stay 3 years on a tourist visa. Yeah, you got to go down to the Bureau of Immigration every couple of months. But yeah, it's true. Kenny V. says, however, my ground maintenance workers, cleaners, and others speak very little English and don't understand me. I have to pass on instructions via the management office, and I've met some province girls, one returning OFW, who wasn't able to have a conversation with me. And I think that was my biggest surprise. Bill R. says the simple answer is Thailand is better for everything except language. Jim A. says only the food, infrastructure, pollution, traffic are horrible in the Philippines, not to mention the extreme difficulty in obtaining prescription medicine. Harsha V. says medical facilities are not good in the Philippines. Expensive food is not good in the Philippines. People are great. Frank S. says Thailand is great except for the visa requirements, the language, and government stability. Or if you have a Filipino wife. Nick L. says Philippines more expensive at all levels. Food not as good. A lot of guns around, especially in Manila, so significant safety concerns. Infrastructure a lot less developed. Women shorter and less beautiful, but warmer and more easy to form long-term relationships, even when the age gap is very big. Nightlife very expensive and dominated by East Asians. Harris writes, I lived in Thailand for 14 years. I speak fluent Thai. My life was very different than many expats, however. I am extremely happy in the Philippines. I mostly meet good people in both countries. I think the Philippines has everything Thai does, but no language barrier and visa extensions on your phone. Well, I don't know which kind of phone he has, but it doesn't work on my phone. I've tried. David M. says, it's not so easy to find a Filipino restaurant anywhere in the world for a good reason. David writes, I lived an awesome life for 23 years in Thailand. I have now lived happily in the Philippines 7 years. The only reason to go to the Philippines is the women. To have the best of both worlds, take a Filipina to Thailand. Devesh S. writes, get a Filipino partner and move to Thailand. Well, here's a common theme developing. Together, or better yet, find an OFW working in Thailand. It's a life hack that nobody wants to share. Stefano V. writes, people saying Thailand is better in this group often live in the middle of nowhere here in the Philippines and compare it versus BKK. What kind of comparison is that? Ha ha. Andrew H. writes, Thailand, great food, terrifying singing. They don't sing as well, I guess, as in the Philippines. Jason B. writes, in Thailand, they don't serve Filipino food, so that's a huge plus for them. Nicholas V. writes, do what I do and spend a year in each and keep switching, picking a different area each time. Eric F. writes, if you want really Asia feeling, like from the movies, go to Thailand. Philippines are more of a culture hot pot, but that makes it more comfortable for Westerners. Carl D. writes, I have never traveled to Thailand. Attempts to contact the Thai women online were a mess. Mark A. writes, compare their visa policies and programs. Oh yeah, weed is legal in Thailand. Well, if you're into marijuana, they did just legalize weed in Thailand. That could influence your decision. I know a few people it could influence their decisions. Roy D. writes, 6 years in Thailand, 4 years in the Philippines, 7 in Cambodia, plus facts. Thailand has better roads, legal system, not full of scamming so-called Christians, far safer to drive, and yes, Philippines may be a bit cheaper in food, but selection and range is limited if you keep close to the same living standard. Healthcare is money first, and then more money. Oh, and then money. Yes, Philippines, more English is in major cities, but it diminishes as you go rural. 3 years on a tourist visa, but renewed in person at immigration every 2 months. Well, I told you I would share with you a third option, and Malaysia is a really interesting country, and they have a significant ethnic Chinese population, 15-20% in the big cities like Kuala Lumpur. As former British colony, the infrastructure is really, really good. And the food, you have Mandarin Chinese food, you have a strong Thai influence since Malaysia borders with Thailand, and you have Malay food, which is quite interesting as well. And you get really the best of all worlds when it comes to food. The Chinese, ethnic Chinese in Malaysia tend to be highly educated. You might find somebody with a master's degree, a college degree, who speaks fluent English, works at a bank, works in a think tank, has a petro engineering degree, and is looking to meet a Western expat. That's the tip that I asked you to stick around for. You might want to go to Kuala Lumpur. You might want to go online and see what the opportunities are for dating in Malaysia, in addition to Thailand and the Philippines. We've shared with you a couple of dozen opinions from expats, many of them with far more experience than me, and I hope it's helpful. So until next time, from Fly Me to the Philippines, please subscribe. Let me hear your comment below. What do you prefer and why, and would you consider Malaysia? Thanks so much, guys.